Hello, my fishes in the deep blue sea. My name is Ethan Yorke, and today we got a video that's coming right at you, so let's jump right in. Now, the first thing I want to talk about today is I am going to be having a shout-out contest at the end of this video, but I'll explain more on that towards the end of my story, which also needs explaining. Now, when I was coming up with stories for this video, I found the perfect topic that fits my motive of telling stories of how and why I'm confused about I'm being ballsed. But I figured that the people that are ballsing me and people that I'm probably going to have to balls even though I don't really want to would get really butthurt if I told the story directly about them, so I decided I would change it into a nice little metaphor that doesn't really have to do with anything, but the story is still there and it still kind of makes sense if you really think about it. So let's jump right into this fake story that is kind of a real story, but the real story has nothing to do with what I'm actually talking about. Now picture me on a boat and I have decided to go fishing. Now I'm going fishing, minding my own business. I'm not very experienced at fishing, I'll get that out of the way first. But I'm strolling around, minding my own business, when suddenly I see this fish in the water that catches my eye. And I decide, what the heck, maybe I'll go for this fish, but I won't put too much effort into it because I'm really not all that interested. So I throw my net out way farther than I need to, and all of a sudden I realize that I have in fact caught this fish. Now normally the fish don't really want to be inside my boat because for some reason my boat is incredibly unattractive, but I get this fish into my boat and the fish is not flopping whatsoever. It is cooperating completely with me, and I realize this fish is gorgeous. It's nice and big, so it'll feed my family nicely. It is doing everything that I would want this fish to do, and I am just absolutely falling for this fish, or just the idea of this fish. That was a little too specific, but that's okay. Now this fish is not struggling. It is sitting there doing everything I wanted it to, like I explained before, and then all of a sudden we start making this connection. The fish and I look eyes at each other. We realize, wow, this is a perfect combination. Literally nothing could go wrong. Now in my head, when I think nothing will go wrong, something is going to go wrong. The fish all of a sudden starts struggling. I'm very confused as to why this fish is struggling, and then after a couple of minutes of struggling, the fish flops its way out of my boat. Now this is very This is very upsetting to me because I really liked this fish and I was looking forward to taking this fish home and feeding my family. I'm very heartbroken by this moment that the fish has decided to leave me and never come back, and I'm very confused, but you know what? I've decided that I don't really want to go fishing anymore because I'm very heartbroken about the last fish that jumped out of my boat. And then as I'm trying to recover from this moment, a fish that is not as big decides to flop its way into my boat, but I'm just not really interested because I'm still balls by that other fish. The fish is doing exactly what the fish before it was doing, cooperating, doing everything nicely, just sitting there, being a nice fish. But I have yet to explain to this fish that I'm not really in the mood to go fishing anymore because the previous fish before had ballsed me so hard. But now here's the part of the story that really doesn't make any sense. The fish that is cooperating with me that is currently in my boat. Now, I am not real, like I said, the fish isn't really going to feed my family all that nicely. It doesn't look as nice as the other fish, yada yada yada. All of a sudden, the fish that ballsed me comes out of the boat and tries to attack me. The fish's explanation for being upset with me is that I'm moving on from from the fish that's mad at me too fast with this other fish that I'm not really in the mood to eat. So the fish jumps back into my boat, starts getting mad at me, and then jumps back out of the boat, but tells all the other fishes that she's mad at me. So let me get this straight. The fish was in my boat, doing everything that I asked it to. The fish was being nice to me. The fish was cooperating. The fish wasn't flopping. Then all of a sudden the fish decided that my boat wasn't her thing. So she flops out of the boat and swims away. I'm very sad by this. I don't want to go fishing anymore. All of a sudden a fish that I didn't even catch hops into my boat and tries to do the exact same thing. I'm not really digging it because I was balls by a previous fish, and then the previous fish comes back into my boat and gets mad at me for the other fish being in my boat. Makes absolutely no sense to me, but that's okay. Now the next thing I want to talk about is an actual story with no fish metaphors, and then after that I will explain the contest that I'm having. Now I watch a lot of Family Feud, and because I don't watch new episodes of Family Feud, these Family Feuds are on a channel known as GSN, which stands for Game Show Network for all of you that didn't know what that meant. And because they're not a huge channel, they have all of these very strange advertisements that don't really pertain to anything. But one commercial caught my eye and realized this is my way to make money. I don't need to work hard on YouTube videos anymore. I don't need to go to college. This is my way to make it big. According to this commercial, if you get a transvaginal mesh and you got pain down there, you're entitled to significant compensation. Now, I don't know about you, but I understand that making a lot of money is hard. So when somebody tries to give me a free ticket like this, I'm going to do what they say. I have scheduled an appointment to get this said transvaginal mesh, and they asked me, see, normally they ask you if you're a girl, but because my voice on the phone apparently sounds so much like a girl, they didn't even ask me if I was a girl. So in 2 weeks I will be getting a transvaginal mesh, and then talking to these lawyers that have commercials on the Game Show Network, and will be entitled to significant compensation, and then I will never make a YouTube video ever again. Anyway, now I'm going to explain the rules of my contest. Now, the story before the transvaginal mesh one was about fish, or so you seem, but here's the contest. Whoever writes down in the comment section below what actually happened to me in terms of getting balls via the hints that I left in that fish story, leave your story, the story that you actually think happened in the comment section down below, and whoever gets the closest will win a shout out. But it's not a shout out just of your name. I will go through your channel, figure out what you're all about, and promote you as if you were my sponsor. Also, I'm doing something very, 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 very stupid on Twitter, so if you want to go on my Twitter, @EthanYorkeSays, and find the tweet that requires me to have 10 retweets before I do something stupid, you want to retweet that, and if it actually happens, I will be very upset, but I will do it and probably ruin my life. Anyway, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did like it, please like it. If you dislike it, please dislike it, and if you really like it, add it to your favorites. I will see you guys some other time.